Hi everybody, sorry for the delay. I had this absolutely gorgeous location I was shooting from and the Wi-Fi kept cutting me off. So I suddenly relocated into this beautiful room that my host has, and so here we go. I was wanting to show you the absolutely gorgeous weather we have here in Florida, but apparently I'm in too much of a remote location for the lakeside Facebook, and I didn't even think about the wireless connection out there not being as strong. So, hello, it's Michelle at Orwick, and I'm super excited to be here with you guys today from gorgeous Orlando, Florida. And the weather really is spectacular here. I wish you could be here to join me in person. We have a class that's going to start as soon as I'm done with my Facebook Live. We're on our 5th day of DNA 3, and we've been doing all kinds of amazing classwork. So in this class, we have come up with a few things that I thought I would share with you because they were common questions with the 10 people that I've been working with for the last 5 days. And the first one is, when I am working on changing and manifesting my own personal reality, what do I do with all the naysayers around me? What do I do with all the people who are bringing my vibe down? And the truth is, that's an amazing question because we have it all the time. Maybe you've made a decision to really upgrade your life, but your partner or your roommate or your kids or your parents, they're in a really bad place. And it's hard. So the first thing you do is you decide, it's really a decision that the other people in your life are not going to choose your reality. And it sounds easier than it really is. So when they say something, I will literally say, well, in your world, that's how it is. But in my world, my choice and my hope and my plan is this. And sometimes we really feel like, oh my God, you're really bringing me down. So walk away. One of my very favorite techniques is the go to the bathroom trick. Because if somebody's in the middle of throwing what I call their stuff at me, I will literally say, all right, I got to run to the bathroom. And I sit down, or maybe I wash my hands, or I spend some time just away from whatever it is that they're projecting. And when I say they're projecting, I literally mean they're projecting. So I actually ask for the energy. And for me, I pretend I'm inside a giant jar of glitter. And that giant jar of glitter gets shook up like a giant snow globe. And you're letting that sparkle from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes just kind of wash over you. And I don't really care what your religious background is, but you can pick your name for God or source or creator, and you can be like, Creator, take their energy away from me. And the way you're going to do that is literally command it to be removed from you. We call this in metaphysics, we call this soul fragments. A lot of us think of it as a psychic vampire draining our energy. And it goes both ways. I want to ask for my soul fragments and my energy to come back from the person that I've been negatively affected from. So we feel depleted, we feel drained, we feel like somebody took something from us. So the first thing you're doing is you're literally saying, bring my soul fragments, bring my energy back to me. Because I don't know about all of you, but I'm super empathic. And when I'm feeling that empathic energy, I really want to help them, fix them, change them. Well, I can't help them if I got nothing left for me. So I bring my energy back from them. And if I really feel like they need something, I give them the energy that I'm also filling up with, but I don't give it from me. I imagine filling them up with light, filling them up with love. I put energy toward a hope for them because a worry is just a negative prayer. So what I want is I want to give them the energy of hope from me. So I'm hoping that they get better. I hope I see them. I imagine them. I picture them happy, healthy, whole, not depressed, succeeding. And that isn't projecting onto them. That's still my reality. I'm working in my reality, not theirs, when I'm imagining them happy, healthy, and whole. Just like when you're worrying about someone, you're working in your reality. And this goes both ways as well. Because if somebody's worried about you, make sure you disconnect from their worry and say, no, my reality is that I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to be whole. And I absolutely refuse the impression that you're putting on me for whatever it is you're worried about, whatever your fear is about me. So trust me, by disconnecting from their worry, you're helping by yourself. And when you disconnect you from worrying about someone and projecting or hoping and praying, whatever your word for imagining that person in a better place, then you're starting to create your reality where they're better. Then the second step of all of this, after you've let go of your energy being drained and you're putting yourself back in your body, you're letting go of them from your body. You're literally saying to yourself, all right, I'm going to take all these emotions I've collected. Anybody see Big Little Lies where Renee Witherspoon says, it's my grudges. I tend to them like little people, and I feed them and I nurture them and I care for them and I don't want to get rid of them. Well, we want to let go of those grudges, and we want to let go of those projections, and we want to let go of our feelings of being overwhelmed that aren't even ours. The first thing I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed in a situation is saying, is this even mine? Is this everybody that's around who's projection onto me? So you're asking yourself to be released from other people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's promises, other people's expectations. You're asking yourself to be released from, you're telling yourself, really, I'm releasing myself from meeting other people's obligations. I'm releasing myself from meeting other people's projections of what they think we should do or shouldn't do, what they want us to do, and what their reality is. And that's how you start creating your own reality separate from someone else. So when you do this, you're finding yourself centered. Like we talked, for those of you who listened last week, we were talking about being centered. So when you get centered in your own stuff, your spine gets all straight and your smile comes back, and you can re-enter society. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you're not empathetically taking on projections, emotions, soul fragments of other people. So that's first taking and making sure that you're all back in you, and second, that their stuff is all out of you. Now, I don't give it back to them energetically. I actually send it up and out, basically transmuting that energy through that giant jar of glitter I was talking about, or your beautiful ball of light, or you can call it through God's love, whatever wording is comfortable for you. You're transmuting, transitioning that energy. You're not giving them back their depression. You're not giving them back their fears. You're not giving them back their stuff. You're actually sending it up and out. If they want it, they can come get it. The next thing that I think is so important is to remember that we overthink. And so the first thing I want you to start doing is, maybe you're the one that's depressed and you can't get out of your own depression because people are worried about you, or you can't get out of your own depression because you're sitting there thinking, well, everything I've already tried that once. I can't get out of depression because I can't see how this situation is ever going to change for me. Well, every single one of us has hit the bottom, and I mean the bottom. And so it's okay to say, I've hit the bottom. one of my favorite sayings is that when you hit the bottom, then you know you have a really solid foundation to build something new on. Try to make sure you don't put it back together in a way that you've done it before, because that old way didn't work. If you have a relationship you're trying to put back together, unless you've got a really good counselor and you know that this is exactly what both of you want, my suggestion is that you try to make sure that you're making you whole. In fact, even if you are trying to put the relationship back together, you're making you whole. We're not in a society where we want to live with two people that are both broken. We have to fix ourselves before we can fix anybody else. Often when we're looking at someone else, it's like, you must do this, or I need you to fix this. That's never going to work. You have to decide, if I am going to make a situation better, I'm the one that has to make the situation better. Maybe they are the one that's not picking up their socks off the floor, or maybe they are the one that's not taking their workload at work. It doesn't matter what it is that they're not doing. I have to change how I'm reacting, acting, and feeling about this situation. So sending a little love to something is the first thing I'm going to ask. Send yourself some love. So I'm asking for me to have understanding, essentially acceptance without judgment. Because when we're trying to judge someone in our reality, we're trying to figure out how this works for us. This is fitting into our situation. Instead, disconnect from that projection and say, I accept for you for who you are and what you're doing. And in my reality, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to feel. And if that isn't in alignment with you, you have to hold yourself strong, hold yourself into a position where you're going to allow your reality to shift. And a lot of times what I say is this or better. And when I say this or better, I mean you can move into my reality in my life, or you can move out. A couple of years ago, I had a major shift in a lot of my relationships because I said this everywhere I went, to everyone I knew, I said, I am changing my relationships. I'm redefining them, and I'm reprioritizing them, and I am looking at each one of them individually. Well, that hurt some feelings. Even some of the people that I thought I wasn't going to do anything different with, I was actually happy with those relationships. They heard me say that, or they heard it through the grapevine that I was reevaluating all my friendships and relationships, and they got their feelings hurt and they moved on. And I thought to myself, it's interesting because 6 months later, my life was drama free. The people that I hadn't even chose to move on that heard this and did move on were the exact ones causing 80% of my discomfort. And I still can be in the same room with them. I'm fine with them, but their discomfort is with me. And I'm fine with that because my reality changed to, I don't have very much drama. I don't have a very, when someone brings up gossip, I can really say, that really doesn't fit with the way I want to work on this. So is there something in what you're telling me that I need to know? And is there something in what you're telling me that I can help or change? And if it's not one of those things, I don't really want to know anybody else's business. And if somebody wants to know something about mine, I feel like they need to come ask me directly to my face. So this changed everything when I just said, I'm redefining my friendships, my relationships, my situation. And I wasn't actually defining them. I was defining how I was going to deal with them, which was that some of these people actually became much better friends. Some of the people who were on my peripheral, I would always say that thing that we always say, which is true. I'm busy. And I would say to people who I really wanted to spend time with, I'm too busy. I really want to get together. I want to have that cup of tea with you, or I want to do this thing. and I never had time for them. So I started writing in my little calendar, and maybe it took a month out before we could get together, but I would start making play dates with my friends. And sometimes I've got friends that are really far away, and that's not as easy, but that was the year I made more trips than I'd ever made before, because I made play dates even with my friends far away. So I'm actually in this rediscovering of friends that are long distance and friends that are closer to me, because I want those people that make me feel good in my life instead of the ones that make me feel like this. So when you start saying to yourself, I'm redefining my relationships, I'm redefining my reality, you literally start changing your reality. So those are just a few tips. I really love coming on here every week. I'm finding from some of your comments that 6 o'clock is too early, that you're trying to get home from work, and for my West Coast people, you're smack in the middle of work. So I'm going to continue for the next 2 weeks to do this at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays through the end of March. And then starting April 1st, I have moved the time for my Facebook Live to 8 o'clock on Monday evenings, just because you've asked. So we'll start doing Michelle's Magical Mondays at 8 o'clock. They'll be for half an hour. And I'm actually taking Facebook Messenger requests for topics and individual questions, which is how the questions from today came about, was specifically asked questions for me to address. So I'm loving doing this. I'm loving getting to see all of your faces and your comments and your little hearts going across the screen. It just makes me so happy. And I hope that even if you take one or two of these little things, oh, look, more hearts. I love you guys too. That I can start, just giving you one thing a week that you can take home with you and put in your toolbox. On Mondays right now, at least through mid-April, if you're here in Orlando, Florida, I've got a meditation group that's meeting on Mondays at 1 o'clock at Avalon. If you are looking for some beginner magical practice stuff, I am running a 4-week series starting this Wednesday at Avalon called Practical Magic. We're going to talk about magical timing this week. So you can go to the Avalon website if you're interested. If you're not here in Orlando, Florida, maybe you'd want to host me to come do a seminar in your town. I am going to make it for all my Ohio people. I'm going to be making it up to Ohio, and I'm going to be doing some stuff in Ohio in September. And so anything is possible. I'm so happy to be here. And again, I will be here next week at 6 o'clock. Again, Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, and then starting in April, we're going to set the schedule for half an hour, Michelle's Magical Mondays, tips and pieces of information directly from your questions. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week.